Before we begin, this podcast is proudly brought to you by DubaiView, your boutique luxury real estate partner. We deliberately keep our family of clients small because we believe in building relationships, not just closing deals. If you are looking for your dream home in Palm Jumeirah, Emirates Hills or Dubai Hills Estate, we should talk. Head to our website for a free consultation. Let's find your perfect Dubai home together. Now back to our conversation. So back to the show, DubaiView podcast with a special guest today, James Glass. Thank you for having you here.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Yes, so today it's a totally different episode, more focused on your journey and as well on the real estate agents in Dubai. I guess we have pretty much real estate agents in Dubai, so I guess it's as well very important for them to check out which type of service you are providing and which value you are providing for the real estate agency in Dubai. Thank you so much for having you here.
Good to be here. Thanks. Yeah, there are a lot of agents in Dubai, so there's no lack of things to talk about around the brokers here.
That's true. That's true. But going back to your background as well, you are originally from US, is it right?
Correct. Yeah. A little bit confused. I think like most people in Dubai, we're all a little bit confused. Originally American parents. Both my parents are American, but I was born in Paris, France, and I grew up in Geneva, Switzerland, or Genf to you. And so a little bit, I've spent the first 16 years of my life in Europe. I went to French school, French friends, French life, but at home, very American home. American parents, we spoke English together. We actually had a rule at home. We spoke English at home and we did everything else in French, and that led to, me and my siblings being very much so bilingual. So that's, yes, American, but also kind of no.
That's amazing. So growing up in Genf, having an American background, we know everyone in the beginning, before I was moving to Dubai, I thought as well to go into the real estate game in America because it's as well quite interesting.
Right.
Talking about LA, Miami, California.
Right.
There's a lot of potential. So what give you the decision to decide I will move to Dubai, not going to America where my roots are coming, or as well moving out of Genf?
Yeah,
Can you give a little bit of insight?
Yeah, so I guess you have to start all the way back with my childhood in Geneva. So I'm the youngest of three. My brother and sister actually both studied in Germany, in the Black Forest at a boarding school for a couple years before they moved back to the US. And that was kind of the trajectory for me. That's where I probably would have ended up as well. But I played basketball and I really wanted to play basketball in university in America. That was like my childhood dream. Go play, like in the movies in Hollywood, go play basketball at a big university. And it's much easier to do that if you're in the US to get recruited to a big school, and then to do that from Europe. And so instead of going to Germany, I ended up in the US in California for 2 years, living with a host family there, and then in Chicago for 4 years, going to university. And so I guess that was kind of my natural transition to the US, even though I didn't grow up there. It wasn't really home. And so I was there for 6 years. And then really the only reason I came out to Dubai was actually I finished university. I was 21. We've all been here, and many people that move to Dubai are in that same stage, right? They're 21, 22, 20, 18 sometimes, right out of university, and they want something exciting, right? And so all of my friends and my classmates from university, my teammates on the basketball team, everyone stayed in the US. And I think maybe because of how I grew up, I had this bigger view of the world, and I knew that there was so much more out there for me to go see. And so I decided to start looking into airlines. I thought maybe for 1 or 2 years for fun, before I get a real job, I'll go fly around the world and get paid to do it. And so I literally just Googled best airline in the world.
Emirates.
And so I literally clicked on apply, fast forward 6 months, and I was here in Dubai joining Emirates Airlines as one of 20,000 flight attendants flying all over the world as cabin crew. And so that was my transition to Dubai. So nothing to do with real estate. That wasn't my plan. I didn't have a passion for real estate. I just wanted to travel. Dubai looked fun. And so I did. And, look back 10 years later, here we are.
Amazing. So then starting with Emirates, working with Emirates?
Correct. That's how I came.
And then how you moved from Emirates into the real estate game. Right. I see you was working for the top real estate agencies, talking about House and House, IX Capital, and I guess you was working as well for PropertyFinder.
Yeah, correct. So kind of a few of the big names. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Mario, by accident. It was not some great plan that I had my whole childhood to move here and get into real estate. Essentially, when I got married, I met a beautiful South African woman through the airline, and we ended up getting married in 2019. So when I got married, it was time finally. I probably would have left earlier if it weren't for that situation, but I left in 2019 and really accidentally ended up at PropertyFinder, which was kind of my launch into Dubai real estate. I literally met a guy on the plane who happened to be the COO of PropertyFinder. And long story short, I ended up there as a training manager. And so I got to learn very much so like that specific vertical of the real estate market, which is prop tech first, which is very unusual, I think, in Dubai real estate. Most people start off as brokers and then graduate into starting their company or into other roles. But for me, I started off in training, which I always tell people, if you want to learn something really well, teach it.
Absolutely.
Because if you're going to teach something, you have to really know what you're talking about, right? Mm-hmm. And so it was difficult. Those first few months were difficult, but they had a great structure. They supported me very well. They gave me all the knowledge that I needed to be able to kind of go out and meet all different real estate brokerages and agents in Dubai and train them on how to use that platform. So that was an accidental, if you will, launch into the Dubai real estate industry for me.
Amazing. How was the journey for you in PropertyFinder?
It was great. I mean, look, they do a really good job. The CEO and his brother, Michael and Jonathan, at the time, they were both still very involved in the business. They're actually both also from Geneva. So I think the culture that they created, I mean, there's not necessarily a better or a worse company culture, right? It's about what you like and where you fit in well. But I think coming literally from the same part of Geneva, like in that same little area, I think they were here long before me, building a much bigger business. I wish I'd had the idea 20 years ago, right? But they've done a really good job of also at the time, especially before COVID, having a really healthy company culture. So that was a really good place for me to start. Again, a very supportive team, very much so. It felt a lot more like a tech company than it did a real estate company. And so if like for any of your listeners or viewers who are familiar with a lot of the real estate brokerages in Dubai and how they operate, it's very different when you're on the prop tech side. It's not at all the same environment. And so it was a really good, I think, first stepping stone for me to kind of get into the real estate sector, especially if you're not starting off as a broker.
Absolutely, because in the end of the day in PropertyFinder, you get as well a knowledge about the areas, what is very important. And it's the basic from the real estate, let's say like that. Okay, going through PropertyFinder, seeing then all the real estate agencies, meeting them, convincing them, or explaining them the platform to join PropertyFinder. What was the final step that you said, now it's the right time to become a real estate agent? And because we have many real estate agents here, what makes you survive in the real estate game? Because we see many agents, they get very successful. Many agents, they're coming with the hope to become the next millionaire, but 2 months later, they're leaving back to their home countries.
Right.
So if you can give there a little bit of insights.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think for me, what was really helpful with that first job at PropertyFinder was just meeting so many different real estate brokers at so many different agencies. That was really helpful because you get to see what does it take to be a good broker. Like you also get to see the bad brokers, right? What kind of broker is not successful in the market. So you get to learn from their mistakes instead of your own. Okay, don't do this, don't do that, don't be this way, don't focus here. And then you get to see the good brokers, the ones that are successful. You get to interact with them, train them, but really in training them, I learned more from them than they probably learned from me in those first couple of years. And so I think that gave me a really good idea overall of, hey, if you're going to get into a real estate brokerage side of things, especially if you're ever going to become an actual agent, what is that going to take? Right? Especially to be a top agent. You don't want to get into real estate and be a bottom or a medium agent. You want to be the best, right? And so I got to experience, I got to interact with and speak to and train the probably the top 100 brokers in Dubai during that first year at PropertyFinder. So that was a really good experience for me. And then from there, essentially you end up kind of building this short list in your mind in that unique role that I had of visiting probably 300 different brokerages at the beginning of my career in real estate. You kind of build this short list that there's maybe those 10, 15, 20 brokerages that you would consider joining that have a good structure and a good leadership team and they do things in a good way and there's at least some basic integrity in how they treat people. And then there's a whole lot of others that don't have those things, as we know. And so I think that was helpful to then be able to kind of make those strategic decisions of where I wanted to end up, which is why I ended up at a company like House & House at first, and then at Axe Capital after that. I wanted to be part of those big brands that are doing things the right way.
House & House is very aggressive. I like House & House. House & House really have he's a smart guy. So the founder and CEO is a smart guy. I see they focus a lot as well in Jumeirah Golf Estate. It's like already owned by House & House. But coming back to the real estate agent, what would you say, what a new real estate agent have to focus on before deciding to move with a real estate company? So what a real estate company should provide the agent that you are saying they can survive in the Dubai real estate market?
Yeah, good question. I mean, look, if you're new to the real estate market, assuming you're also new to Dubai, so you're literally moving to Dubai, is that the scenario?
Yes.
Okay, great. So you're new to Dubai, you're new to real estate, you want to get into the game. Look, every brokerage is going to promise you a lot of things from what I've seen. Promises aren't inherently bad, right? Promises are fine, but you have to deliver on those promises. And that's where in Dubai real estate, we say it all the time, there's a lot of over-promising and under-delivering from brokers to clients and from real estate brokerages to their agents, right? And so a lot of it is probably watching podcasts like this is helpful to understand what the dynamic is. Speaking to people before you jump in and just believe the first thing that you hear from the first brokerage, probably do some research. There are probably existing brokers at that company that will be honest with you. There are probably also brokers who left that company in the last 12 to 18 months that you could speak to and get information from them. So I would say just do your research. Essentially, what does a brokerage really need to be able to provide you? I would say you probably want to be part of a relatively big team, not a small team. Like joining a team of 5 brokers if you're brand new to the industry is okay. It's fine. Like there are benefits to that, but you're going to be probably limited in how much knowledge you can get from the people around you. So there could be benefit in being with a big team. The problem with a big team is that you can get lost. You're just a number to that sales manager. So you got to make sure, again, there's a different kind of fit for everybody. You got to make sure if you're joining a big company that the benefits outweigh the possible negatives there. Because a lot of these big companies, it's just churn, right? Get in 100 people, lose 70. Get in 100 people, lose 70. Keep the 30, keep the 30. And I've been there. I was doing that. So just do your research.
And this is, I guess, it's quite hard. So I'm seeing it now currently as the CEO of DubaiView, with which type of expectation the agents are coming to joining you. So what currently the agents want from you, it's insane. And this, I guess, it's coming out of all the promises, what never happened. So I'm looking as a CEO perspective, or as my journey, for example, now they want salaries. Say, I want to have a salary XYZ to make sure that what the real estate company is promising me, it will happen as well. But if I'm looking back on my stage, I'm saying if you are a good broker or a good agent, you know as well that you are surviving the next 2 to 3 months because the clients will stay with me. So if I'm moving from real estate company XYZ to real estate company XYZ, still my investors will be my investors.
Right.
So, and this is what a little bit is confusing me currently from a lot of agents, and seeing it as well from big real estate companies and CEOs who I was talking with, is that 20% are the sharks who's giving, let's say, that money to that real estate company, what they need to survive as well, because you know as well how much PropertyFinder is costing if you open the big package. And as well by you, we're talking about around about 1 million dirhams per year. And having 100 agents, and let's say from out of 100 agents, just 20 are successful and reaching the target, and the other 80% you have, I'm seeing a lot of real estate companies as well not succeeding because of the high costs. So what would be your strategy if someone want to open a new real estate company? Should they start small, or which way you can tell them to move forward to survive as well in the real estate market?
Yeah, good question. I mean, look, I've worked with all different types of brokerages. I've spoken to people who have started brokerages, and I've literally been given random numbers. Like someone told me once, a very specific. I was like, you need 7,243,000 dirhams to start a brokerage in Dubai. I was like, okay, that's fine. I mean, I guess in your little world of what a brokerage should look like, that's probably the number you came up with. There are many other people who start a brokerage with 100,000 dirhams, and they get, what they call a virtual office, which is a contradiction, but that's what they do here, right? You don't even have an office. You keep your costs super low. You open a small package with, one of the portals, maybe, right? They're going to try to sell you a minimum package of, 60,000 dirhams a month or whatever. You don't have to spend that, right? Like you can start off with a small package, a small team, and just start organically, right? I mean, there are, 3,000-4,000 registered real estate brokerages in Dubai? I mean, how many of those have a team of 10? Like not all of them, right? There's probably at least 1,000 that are just 1, 2, maybe 3 friends. They have a trade license and they operate as a brokerage, right? So I don't think having a ton of cash behind you is really actually the number one criteria to start a brokerage. I think what you need is to understand how the market works. And that's where we see, unfortunately, a lot of people coming into the market who know nothing about real estate. They know nothing about the market in Dubai. They think it's just like the market back home. and they start a brokerage because the barrier to entry is very low. Go pay 30,000 dirhams, get a trade license. Yay, now I own a brokerage. Right, great. You have no idea what the next 3 months should look like, how many brokers you need, how are you going to get them, what should the structure look like, commission percentages, how do you get stock? Do you need an admin? What kind of admin? What are they going to do? Off-plan, secondary? There's so many intricacies, and people just start a brokerage and think I can do everything because I'm a smart person. That's not how it works. You need the experience, the tangible experience, to be able to actually make a dent in this market.
Absolutely. So many brokers, they made the first big deal and they started to open their own brokerage company.
Yeah.
So going back to us, DubaiView, if you believe me or not, my brokerage company was costing me not even $1. So if you imagine, I made my roadshow with my previous real estate company in Düsseldorf in Germany. So this is how I met my partner. And I guess this was the first roadshow what we did, who all the developers was joining us. So it means Shoba was with us, Damak was with us, Ellington was with us. So all the big names was with us. And one of the sales directors of Shoba was knowing my director. So she was texting him and say, hey, we are in Düsseldorf. There's a roadshow arranged by that real estate company. And he was asking, okay, who's arranging that? And she said, Mario. And he said, is he trustworthy? And she said, yes, he's a good guy. So he was joining us in the roadshow and said, Mario, listen, I have one of the biggest real estate companies in Germany. We are currently opening another real estate company in Spain. And I want to enter into the Dubai real estate market. And this was the journey who I was looking now to open my own real estate company. So he said, I can provide you very good leads. We have our own marketing team. And let's see first how our relationship works. So to one of the big deals, what we did, we was opening the trade license, opening our real estate company, then just was myself closing with my existing clients and with the leads who are coming in the deals. And this is how we were scaling up to now currently 11 agents and going into the market. And this is exactly, you have to understand the costs, because if you're starting directly with owning Rolls Royces, S-classes, big marketing campaigns, big, huge offices. So no one knows how long the Russians, going back to other real estate companies, are still buying in the Dubai real estate market. How many Ukraine people, if you're a Chinese real estate company, how long the Chinese will still purchase from you. So and I guess this was one thing what was saving us from a lot of money what we had to put in, because we were scaling organically. And there you are going not with a pressure inside.
And I think the problem is that people just don't want to wait in Dubai. I want everything and I want it tomorrow.
Fast.
There's no patience, right? And the best way to grow a business is organically. I mean, look at the top 15 brands in Dubai. They're not usually brands that have built themselves in 2 or 3 years, right? They're brands that have been around for 10, 15, 20 years. A lot of them, they started in 2008 when the market was down. And then they've grown consistently. COVID came, they weathered the storm during COVID because they had grown organically and done things correctly. And now they're, market leaders. Like you said, they have, majority market share in some of the communities that they focus on. You just can't accelerate organic, good old-fashioned work ethic.
Quick break to share some exciting news from DubaiView. Our boutique approach means we get exclusive first access to some of the Dubai's most remarkable properties. Just this month, we've added stunning new listings that aren't available anywhere else. Want to be first to know about these hidden gems? Visit our website for private consultation. Now, back to our conversation. Absolutely, because in the end of the day, what's meaning for you having 50, 100 agents if they don't know what they have to do?
Right.
So it's just cost for you. Leads cost everyone. Let's say I say a good agent need at least, or one agent need at least 2 to 3 leads per day. So just calculating the cost per lead on 100 agents is a huge number. So, and I guess this is what a lot of new real estate brokers who's converting to CEOs, opening their own real estate company, are not looking for. Yes, I have amount XYZ, but this amount XYZ will get spent very soon in Dubai.
Yeah, especially if you don't know where to spend it. You have to know exactly where to put every dirham, and then it can make sense. Yeah. And really, I mean, I think for a lot of these people who are starting brokerages, who start off as agents, they make a few big deals, they have some cash, they decide to start their own brokerage. I think really the thought process for most of them, it doesn't really go very far. It goes from, I have deals that I'm closing, I'm getting 50, 60, 65% commission on those deals. If I spend 30,000 dirhams on my own trade license, I'll get 100%. And they do the math adds up. I can make more money. Let me start my own company. So they do. I don't think the thought process really extends beyond that for a large majority of them. They don't think about how am I going to scale the business? How am I going to hire 10, 20, 30 agents over the first 12 to 18 months? What CRM system are we going to use? How are we going to do lead generation? How much does a package with the portals cost? What about Google ads? Are we going to do off-plan? Which developers do I need to get registered with? I don't think any of them think about those things. They just get a trade license and then they think, oh, we should grow. How do we do that? Spend money, right? And that's where we end up where we are now.
Coming back to you, was winning the Broker Award 2023. Is it right?
Yeah, with Axe Capital. Yeah. Was it 2023? It was 2023. Yes. Yeah, Brokerage of the Year. What is it? Best Quality Brokerage, I think they call it. Not sure.
Yes.
Yeah, it was a good time.
How did you reach it?
How did we reach it? Well, not alone. So I just happened to be there representing Axe Capital on that day. There were 4 of us that were there, but I mean, it really is a team effort, right? When you get to that stage in this competitive of a market, you don't win Best Quality Brokerage of Dubai with 1 or 2 or 3 departments. You've got to have every part of the brokerage that is a well-oiled independent machine that's functioning well, right? So, I mean, I think a big part of it was that the market conditions were right for where we were at the time. I think that is a big part of it. That being said, I think there were a lot of people. The one thing they did at Axe at the time when I was there in 2022 especially, they hired really good people to manage departments. And that's what it takes. You get the best admin in the UAE market and you put them over the admin team. You get the best recruiter in the UAE market, you put them over the recruitment team. You get the best HR director, you put them over the HR team. You get the best learning and development manager, you put them over the L&D team. And you do that across all the departments. And when you do that, the support system is going to be there for whatever agents and salespeople you have to flourish, to do well. And so I think, again, like to your point, was it fast? Yeah, it was fast. And that was because we really pushed really hard on the recruitment and training side, which is why I was there, taking care of the whole training side of things. But when you do that, when you really invest into each of those departments, what's going to happen, again, organically, is that those sales teams are going to start flourishing because everything else is there for them. They have the support. All I need to focus on is selling, converting my clients.
I guess it was in that time 180 agents, is it right?
So when I joined, I think in 2021, 22, I think early 22, something like that, we had around 180 employees, I think, something like that. So maybe 150 agents across off-plan and secondary. Most of that was off-plan at the time. When I joined, Axe Capital was a majority off-plan. We had a team of, I think, 40 secondary, something like that. And then by the time I left, 2 years later, because of all that effort and resources put toward recruitment and training and that whole, the back office staff, we had grown to about 1,000 employees worldwide, 800 in Dubai, I think around almost 700 agents we had. So, I mean, that's a significant amount of not only of people, it's a lot of people, but really what's astonishing to me is the speed that we did that. Remember, everybody wants everything fast in Dubai, right? Obviously, that comes with challenges. I don't recommend it for everyone, but it was fun. It was fun, and I think to get rewarded by the end of that 2-year journey that I had with them, I think to get rewarded with best quality brokerage just kind of proved to a lot of us, but especially to me, I think that, hey, what we're doing works. Right? Like what we are training, these 1,000 people that have joined us in the last 2 years, what me and my team were training them, the knowledge and the information that we were giving them, and especially the way that we were giving it to them in fun, engaging, dynamic ways, it works. It worked. It led us to be the best quality brokerage in Dubai. Now, obviously, that's not enough to sustain it for a decade. You've got to do a lot of other things right as well. But it was fun, and it was a nice reward for all the work.
Amazing. But coming inside the real estate game again, so what do you think it's important for a real estate agent to succeed? Because I'm seeing it a lot of times that a lot of agents are just focusing on leads. So I'm seeing every time a good agent have to split it. So 30% focus on leads, that you get high qualified leads, 30% for your own network. Going out, there's so many things to do. We have yacht clubs, we have gold clubs, we have art clubs, we have 100,000 things, let's say, who wealthy people are around who you can connect with. And the other 60% is work and time. So how do you see it? How an agent should structure himself to get successful into a company?
Yeah, good question. I mean, I think we agree completely on the whole problem of leads, right? So many agents in Dubai. I mean, this is salespeople everywhere, not just agents in Dubai. But let's talk about agents in Dubai. They wait around thinking that it is the responsibility of their brokerage to provide them with enough leads to keep them busy all the time, right? If that's your if you're watching this and that's your mentality and you want to find the brokerage that's going to give you enough leads for you to just work on leads, don't get into real estate. Because there is not a brokerage out there that is going to, with a clear conscience, provide you enough hot, fresh, quality leads to keep you busy. So if you don't want to put the work in on top of a little bit of leads to actually be successful, then don't get into real estate, because it's not going to work, right? I tell agents, out of all of the clients that you're going to end up with, probably 10% of those will be leads that the company has given to you from their marketing, whatever. 90%, in my opinion, 90% should come from what I call prospecting, right? Like you said, you going out, find your own clients. It's your network. Mm-hmm. And there's 1,000 different ways that you can prospect in Dubai or in your own network overseas. There's social media, there's events, there's 1,000 different ways. Yesterday morning for a brokerage, I ran an 1.5-hour training session just on prospecting, because they were sitting around waiting for their company to give them leads. No, hey, here's 25 ways that you can fill your day by going out and finding clients who want to buy property in Dubai. And that's the good thing about Dubai, is that your list of prospects, this is what I always tell agents, your list of prospects as an agent in Dubai is probably the longest list of prospects of any salesperson in the history of sales. Because anybody in the world from any country, without even having to come to Dubai, can buy property in Dubai. And the minimum investment amount, if you're talking an 80% mortgage loan to value, right? You need 20% of what, 600,000 dirhams for an entry-level studio? So what is that, 150,000 dirhams? Probably 120. You can probably find something in Dubai if you have 120,000 dirhams of cash. What is that in euros? 40,000? Not even.
Not even, 35.
35,000 euros, right? How many people in Europe have 35,000 euros? Probably half the population of Europe, right? So you've got half the population of Europe who is a prospect. And you're going to sit around at the office, oh, I don't get enough leads from my company. Right? That's the mentality. So when you say, what does an agent need to be successful? It's just this. Are you aggressive? You talk a lot about being a shark, right? That's a shark. Mm-hmm. The good thing is there's a lot of fish in the ocean and you're a shark. So go find your prospects, right? If the company gives you a lead a day, 2, 3 leads a day, great. That's additional. That's wonderful. I hope they do. They should, right? But what about the day, when the market slows down? And it will. Every market slows down. Then what? If you haven't been prospecting, if you don't have your own network, if the leads slow down, it goes from 3 to 1 a day, then what?
100%.
Right.
I'm saying that every time. I had last week one of our team meetings. I said, did someone check the transaction? How much transaction is going through the Dubai real estate market? I said, how is it possible? And it's not even let's say too much. How is it possible to don't get a sales target of 2 million dirhams? If you're going on 502 billions sales transactions and you are struggling to close 2 million dirhams,
right?
What is not even 2 small 1-bedrooms, or let's say 3 studios. So it's not a lot. No one is saying big other people 10 million sales target or that team have to reach 40 million dirhams. Right. No, 2 million dirhams.
Yeah, it's a 1-bed in a prime area. One transaction.
This you should do as well. Yes, this you should do and reaching as well without getting leads out of it, because how the other people is doing it. Mm-hmm. So if you're seeing there's a sales transaction of 502 billions, then you know how many aggressive agents are out there who is selling this 502 billion.
Yeah.
So what are you looking for? Yeah. Go out and find your clients, because there are a lot. Checking how much tourism, how many people are moving in, and they're coming back to Emirates. I have 2 people. There was cabin crews in the first class. Mm-hmm. That connections, what they made there, are insane. So normally everyone who have to start into the real estate work first 2 years for Emirates.
Honestly.
And then join a real estate company.
Hey, if you're cabin crew and you're watching this, take business cards from your customers, right? You'll use them one day.
100%. And then afterwards, after 2 years, contact me.
Yeah, exactly. Take a picture, send it. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So that's why I guess this is what I'm focusing, and that's why I don't want to grow that much, because I make it as simple as possible, and I don't want to honor myself in that way. But going as well, how you say, PropertyFinder, PropStack, we are going with my partner as well into the PropStack way. Mm. So focusing first of all, why I opened that real estate company was what was missing in my stage, who I was a real estate agent. Mm. So, and I never wanted that my real estate agents are calling 100 cold leads and trying to convince someone to give them the listing of, it's, for me, it's a waste of time, because every minute is counting. For me, it's important that my agents are bringing me listings and my agents are selling, but how do I reach them? And this is to go with the fastest way what is possible. So that's why as well our CRM system is structured just for us, for DubaiView. It means our leads are coming in, the sales the sales profile get generated by themselves. So not like I get an inquiry and then I'm booming him with all the projects what we have inside the market. He's looking for a 2-bedroom apartment in JVC, Arjan or Business Bay. This is his budget, the square feet he want. Maybe he want a pool on top. Then he just get that type of listings from his requirements. And this full automatically, emails full automatically. You get qualified lead follow. The only thing what you have to do is sit, seeing what the client is look like or what he wants. The brochures got sent as well before you're getting in touch with him. Check on PropStack which type of brochures he received, contacting him. Even the emails got tracked, if he's opening the email or not, and contacting him and convince him and navigate him to close that deal. So, and this is that. Even if you're tracking an email, imagine you get a notification on your phone and it's saying Mr. Helmut is opening now currently the brochure. So it's mean he have time in that time. So I give you as well the tool to see you when the guy have time to call him. And imagine you call him, this is my strategy every time, and saying, hey, Mr. Helmut, I'm currently thought about you and I wanted to know if you received the brochures. Then 80% of the people say, oh my God, I'm believing in energy. How is it possible? Currently, I opened the brochure. I say, no, really? That's fun. You know what I mean?
Now they know.
Now they know. Now they know. But it's fine. They should know.
They should know.
So we make it as fast and simple as possible for our agents. But of course, this is just working as well if the agents are hungry and not just sitting and waiting for the leads are coming out. So that's why important for you which type of insights you can give the real estate agents out of here, how they should structure their day. Because this I'm seeing as well, a lot of agents are thinking they are very efficient, but looking what they are doing during the day, it's meaning they are doing maybe just 10%.
The wrong effort. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think it's good that you bring up your CRM system. Technology in general has advanced so much, specifically in real estate in Dubai since COVID in the last 5 years. Some of these systems, like what you're describing, have really advanced. And there's even some people I've spoken to who think that technology eventually will replace agents. Maybe. Probably not in our lifetime, right? And so I think the correct strategy is, okay, well, finding technology that can enhance our current team members, right? Can enhance the agent's current job to make them better, to make them more efficient, to make them more timely, like you said, right? But that's never going to replace the agent, at least not in our lifetimes. And so we still need to invest in the agent to make sure, like you said, that they're aggressive, that they're doing the right things, right? Look, if I have created many, weekly calendars for agents of what they should do from 9 to 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12 on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There's not one template. I wish I could flash it on the screen. Here you go. This will lead you to be a millionaire. That's not the case, right? There's not one size fits all. Personally, what I look for more than anything else is attitude and work ethic. If someone has a really good attitude, meaning that even when something goes bad, they're still positive, they actually believe that they're going to be successful, even though they had a really bad day, they lost a deal, whatever it is, right? And you can tell that in the first 10, 20 minutes of sitting with someone, what their inherent, internal attitude is going to be in that situation, positivity. 2, work ethic, right? Are you willing to grind? A little harder to tell in the first 10 to 20 minutes. You've got to show that. Everyone says, yeah, I'm going to work hard. I'm here to be a shark. Okay, well, show me in a month when you've not made any income, in 2 months, in 3 months, when you haven't closed your first deal yet because you're new to Dubai, then I'll see. Yep. Then I'll see what your work ethic is like, right? But really, those are the two things. Because real estate, I always say it, real estate is not rocket science. It's not complicated. There's a lot to learn, but it's not complicated. Anybody can learn it. Almost anybody can learn it, right? I've seen some people who can't. But it's really again, if you have the attitude and the work ethic, you really can make a dent. So there's not one specific structure that's going to work. Honestly, I mean, you talked about briefly the shortest path to success, right? A big thing for me that I talk about, and I think from what you said, we agree, is your network. how fast can you build a network? Again, not from just cold calling people. And like, it's fine. Many companies do it by cold calling. I train cold calling. It's fine. Like, by all means, go build a network from cold calling. But I think if that's all you're doing, you're probably missing a big chunk of business, right? How can you build genuine relationships with prospects, with property owners, with clients, potential buyers, investors, whatever it is, as quickly as possible, right? And so that's what you should be focusing your days on, in my opinion, right? Especially at the beginning in that first month or 2 or 3 when you're getting into real estate, it's all about relationships. So how can I structure my day as a person to make sure I am building relationships effectively with the right people?
Absolutely. If I think I wanted to enter in the beginning, the past, talking 5 years ago, my dream was taking the Al Barari market.
Yeah.
I was before focusing as well in Jumeirah Golf Estate till I saw House and House and what's the name of the other real estate company? So as well a British real estate company.
And Jumeirah Golf Estates? Is it Espas who's down there, as a big market share? I don't remember.
Two British real estate companies have a focus there. So I say fighting alone against a real estate brokerage, it would be quite hard. So then I sold 2 villas in Al Barari, but still getting connected with the security there, it's very hard because there's no security sitting around, so it's quite open.
Right.
Then I got the luck selling 7 Heaven, a duplex. So the duplex was all, my client wanted to get it renovated, so I was spending a lot of times there renovating it, standing there, meeting the neighbors, meeting the security, and the security guy was Pakistani. He said, Mario, I want to move to Germany, but I don't know how. I said, okay, I will help you. So I gave him all my connections. I helped him. I said, but I want to know from each person who is living here, who want to sell his property, who want to rent his property. I guess I just got, just through this source, almost 10 listings.
Nice.
Imagine. And if you're starting and having that 10 listings, then it's almost propaganda. It's same like you close the first deal, he's happy, you're giving him an after sale, and don't forget him, just, now I got my commission, I don't take care more about that person. Then he will bring his brother, he will bring his cousin, he will bring his friend. So then from 2 becomes 4, from 4 becomes 8, from 8 becomes 16. So it's not that much, let's say, hard to get people who's investing with you, but you just have to think about how to get the units, how to get the listings, and which type of ways I have.
That's it. Yeah. And again, there's no right or wrong way. There are more effective ways, there are less effective ways, and there are ways that are going to work better for some people than for others, right? Which kind of brings us back all the way to, if you're new and you're trying to choose a brokerage, what do you look for? I guess look for a brokerage that does things the way that you want to do things, right? Like, I've met many very successful brokers in Dubai who don't cold call. Great. You probably shouldn't join a brokerage that is all about cold calling, because they're going to expect you to cold call, right? There's other people that, want other things, and they find that in some brokerages and not in others. You got to figure out, how do you want to approach the job? Which brokerage is going to give me the freedom to do it in that way?
I guess you have to source it out. So in 3 different type of ways. So for me, it's very important to get high qualified leads. How to get it? Okay, my cost will be a little bit higher. But as well, I'm not calling it cold call, and I guess everyone knows, but still there are databases here in the market. So to reach out listings. But I don't see it efficient enough that an agent is calling through all that listings, and then how many people is getting these calls per day. So they switch off. Maybe he say, you asshole, from where you have my number, and all these bad things. So you put the motivation of the agent down. So that's why it's much easier for me. What I'm saying, if you want to get listings in that area, and you don't want to cooperate with agents who have maybe that listings, is the next part. Unfortunately, there's so much time wasted that even the agents who have the listings, even if you're a good agent, maybe he's not believing more in you. He said, for what, A to A, it's time waste sending, then no offers is coming, then no sales is coming. So, you know what I mean? So that's why there's what's a bulk deal. I love that. And then if you just know the 3 sentence, how to put it out to all that listings, we was driving very good with him. Out of that, you're getting 25, 30 messages. Hey, I have a 1-bedroom in that and that area. Hey, I have a studio in that and that area. So there are ways. I'm not just saying focus on high qualified leads and hanging out in golf clubs and yacht clubs, but you have to know how to engage and how to work that fast
that you get that result what you want. Because if you're just sitting 8 hours on cold calling and maybe you're getting 2 leads, I guess the other 8 hours you could spend different to get 5 to 6 properties or leads.
Potentially, yeah. I mean, look, I think what you're describing is basically like, if I had to put a word to it, it's just hustle. You just hustle, right? Now, it's hard to teach hustle. I think it's something that you either have or you don't. Maybe it's something that you learn from experience, from your parents, from your friends, from a teacher, a coach, whatever. But it's hard to teach, and especially in a classroom setting, how to hustle, right? And it's like, not one strategy is going to work for everyone, right? Bulk WhatsApp. Okay, great. If 30,000 agents start bulk WhatsApping, the market's going to break, right? So it's not the type of thing that you want to teach people, right? Cold calling, it does work. You're right. It's slow, right? You got to make 100 calls. Maybe you get, 10 conversations. Out of those 10, you got 2 potential pieces of business. Okay, great. Yeah, it's slow, but at least I can teach you how to do it. Anybody can do it, right? I remember there was one specific guy when I was at Axe Capital. Obviously, we train a specific structure that we know is going to work, and anybody can do it, right? And so a lot of that is going to come down to calling, right? Calling from our database, calling from the CRM leads, whatever it is. And then occasionally there'd be someone, or the one specific guy in mind, who comes in, they go through training, they're like, yeah, it's fine. And by day 2, they'd already gone and like found 12 other ways of doing the job, like you're describing. They went back to like Morocco. They hired a team of people in Morocco to like bulk WhatsApp for them through Moroccan numbers and generate leads. And like by week 3, the dude had like 30 listings online. He was brand new to real estate, right? Great. That's better than cold calling for him, because he had that hustle mindset. He went and he found a better way of doing it for him. But that's not something you can train. You can't teach 1,000 agents to do that. Everything will break, right?
Absolutely.
So you got to hustle. And it sounds like you're a hustler, and that's what I try to look for, especially when you're recruiting, right? Like, find those hustlers, because they're the ones that are going to be successful.
Working smart. What I say, Dubai is still the 18th in Germany. So a lot of things. Yeah. Watching on mortgages. This is still who I'm finding a way how to leverage in Dubai.
Right.
So, and as well, like, everything is fast. You're seeing it, how fast properties get sold, how fast new launches are sold out. And what was me disturbing the whole time is, for example, a new launch is coming. You're sending it to your investor. Investor is replying to you. You're sending it to the sales manager. Sales manager is sending it to the CRM, which units are available. CRM back to sales manager. Sales manager back to agent. Agent back to client.
Right.
The unit is sold.
Right. Exactly.
So why should I take that way? It was taking me now 2.5 years. This is what I can say, that we got confirmed that DubaiView will be one of the biggest platforms very soon in off-plan properties, because we connected our API system now with few big developers who will go online in the next 2-3 months. It means the investor who is going on to DubaiView, they see live, for example, I don't want to say now already the developers, but which developer A, B, C, and D have available. Of course, every time it's something hidden in stocks, and everyone knows, because after 5 months, then a cancellation is coming in and it's going out again. But still, you have the possibility to go on the website, checking live which units, which floor, which view. We are connecting the payment link from the developer with our website, so you can put an expression of interest. So if you're going through our website, you're much more faster than through that way, what I said in the beginning. And afterwards, even if you're putting the expression of interest or you need a consultancy, I'm sending you one of my agents on the back and saying, thank you so much for the expression of interest. For you now, Dario Caporali or someone else is now assisting you in the whole process for free. So it will be a platform with a real estate advisor who is giving you assistance for free. And I guess this is a gap what will change a little bit the real estate market, because you don't have to, some developers already have the apps, but not a lot of brokers are using it. But I guess for investor side and for the real estate side, it will be much more easier and time effective to go through this way than texting to WhatsApp, getting a message. And good sales managers are as well busy, who is telling you that in the beginning of the next 10 minutes, he's answering you.
Yeah. Yeah, again, I mean, leveraging technology, right? And both. It's leveraging technology, but like you said, also having the relationships with, for example, the developers, right? So if you're able to leverage those things and provide that service faster, more efficiently, and essentially a better product for your client, then that's going to work, right?
Yeah.
So that's where the market's going. That's what we've got to do is leverage the right technology. So it's good that you guys are doing that.
So this will be my last question. Where do you see the market in Dubai?
Well, like going in the future?
Let's say talking about 2025.
I think 2025 is still going to be healthy. I think we've got probably a couple more peaks coming up. It will slow down, but I don't think yet. I think we're still good for now. I think it's still healthy. We've got, again, supply and demand. If you look at, global market, I think with Trump, and I think a few other dynamics going on in the region, I don't think our population growth has any reason to potentially shrink, which is good. As long as population is growing and supply is matching that without going above and beyond that, we're okay. And I think the supply for 2025 with the population growth is still matching up. So we should still have good, healthy growth. I think probably looking into 2026, Q4, probably 2027 for sure, is when we should be seeing a lot of supply coming onto the market. And then, of course, the big question mark is population. What is that going to do in the next 2 to 3 years? So we'll see. Nobody has a crystal ball. Don't quote me. We'll see what happens.
Perfect. Thank you so much for having you here. It was a pleasure having you here.